Welcome to LSC. It's sports time. I'm your host, Bob Hens. Today I have with me Evelyn Lewis, former basketball player over at Hampton High School and won a state championship. Glad to have you.
It's nice to be here.
Well, it's been a while for me to get you here, but we would talk about growing up. You grew up in Hampton.
Right.
And started playing sports how?
Five years
yes, old. Were you always taller than most of the kids?
Yes, I was always
Well, I know you're
head,
taller
shoulder.
than the boys because they mature
sprout
late.
Yeah. So I was always taller than everyone. I think maybe I could have went for 10 when I was like 6 or 7. Yeah,
Wow.
I was a tall girl.
But now, what's some of the teams you played on? You played over at Aberdeen?
Yeah, I played for the Aberdeen 76ers with my older brother. It was a co-ed team coached by Coach Webb. I think he's over at Minchville now. He coached us for that team. I played for Boo Williams, Black Widows.
Okay, now how old were you when you were playing for these the Black Widows?
I started Black Widows at 9, competitive AAU basketball, yes.
Okay.
9
now,
years
did
old.
you have to try out for that?
My mom was the coach. My mom was the coach, yeah. And believe it or not, that was tougher than it sounds. You know,
well, of course.
I was getting kicked
Parents
out.
are going to be tougher on
Exactly,
you. Right.
exactly. There, you know, it was tough. But my second year, I ended up having to try out. We had a different coach. It wasn't tough because there weren't a lot of taller girls in the area. You know, you're 10,
right.
You're already touching 5'11".
Right.
You know, they're
so
like, we
you
want
didn't
her.
have too much competition in the height category.
Exactly.
But you also took ballet.
Yes.
Now, when did you start ballet?
I started ballet I started tiny tot dancing when I was 4. I started ballet when I was 5 or 6 over at Hampton University. They had a ballet school over there, and I was very competitive in that. I love to dance. I've always loved to dance. I did ballet, I did jazz, tap, modern, African, you name it, you know, I did it.
Well, talk about some of the carryover skills, because I know moving your feet and all, you have to be able to move your feet in basketball.
Yes.
Did that ballet help you?
Yes, ballet helped me in a lot of ways, definitely with my footwork. It's hard to believe because I'm so tall, but I've always been a toe walker. And if you watch some of the older games, I run on my toes, and I've always gotten the compliment of you're fast for your size. So, you know, walking on my toes and being aware of my feet from ballet carries over to basketball. Your footwork is impeccable. Also, being aware of your body parts, being aware of your arms, being, you know, graceful in the dance room carries over to being graceful on the court. You see bigger girls, they're not as graceful.
I never thought about that, but that's great.
Yeah.
Well, who were some of your teammates that you had when you were on the AU?
Oh, Boo Williams?
Yeah.
Jessica Lewis, she played over at Bethel. Rachel Payne, Kelly London, lifetime friend. She just finished up medical school. It was a bunch of girls, but not Shanice McNabb, Felicia Johnson, a lot of good girls that I'm still keeping in contact with.
Oh, that's a lifetime friend.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Social
great.
media makes it easy to keep
now,
up.
You went to middle school at Jones?
Yes, Jones Magnet.
But at that time, as an 8th grader, you went over and played JVs over at Hampton High School.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when were you on Boo's traveling squad? Was that after that, or is this when you were in high school?
Yes, that was after my 10th grade summer. I played that summer, and then the 11th, in between the 11th and 12th grade.
So we'll talk a little bit about that in just a minute, but you started as a 9th grader on the varsity with Coach David Six.
Yes, yeah. You know,
talk about it, because I like David. I think he's done such an awesome job. What was he like in practice and games?
He was scary. He was scary for, you know, me coming in. I'm like, 13, 14 years old. I've only played for my mom and a couple of other coaches that were more so gentle with me, and he was in your face. But it was more so of he saw what was there down the road, and he just wanted to pull that out of you, and he could exactly. He had a plan, and he wanted you to be on board with it, and he definitely got me on board. It was scary in the beginning, but I got used to it, and I love him.
Talk about some of the players you had on those teams in Hampton.
I played with Sarah Stevens. Well, I didn't play with her, but she was there before me. Siobhan, they would come back and play pickup. Cece Bozeman. I played with Tiffany Davis, Tamara Davis, Kelly London again, Kimberly London, Ashley Spriggs. They're all,
Wow.
all over the world doing their
Right.
thing. Who else? Yikes.
Well,
They're
that's a
gonna kill
lot.
me
You
for
came up with
forgetting
a
their
lot more
names,
than
yeah.
I would have come up with. But Six used to tell me that he tried to get you girls to act like family.
Yes.
On that team.
Yes.
Talk about some of those things that he used to do.
We did a yearly trip to Kings Dominion. Every summer we went to Kings Dominion. Everybody went. We had a blast. We had dinners over the assistant coach's house, Coach Carter. He lived down the street from the school. We did a lot of team bonding, whether it was going to Hooters, getting wings, or going to the mall together, everything. The sweatsuits, the jackets, the shoes, we did everything together. And being more so of a family off the court, it helped us a lot more on the court.
Well, it helped you get to know the other person's
Yes.
personality too off the court. didn't it?
Exactly. And you find a lot of times that it's hard to work hard for a group of girls that you don't know. It's hard to work hard for a group of people that you kind of don't have any kind of
No
relationship with.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
And with building those relationships off the court with them, you're playing for more than yourself when you step out on the court. You're playing for your family, you're playing for your coaches, you're playing for the neighborhood, you're playing for the community. Everybody was involved. It was a team effort from the whole Hampton community, and that was what he was teaching us,
Yeah, well, because I would talk to him and he would tell me about these different things you're doing. Now, you was on Boo Williams' travel squad.
Yes.
Where did you travel? Other than Brazil. You blew my mind when you said you guys went down to Brazil.
Where did we not travel? We went to Brazil, Sao Paulo. We played against all professional basketball teams. We went to, we did a roundabout. We never came home. We were gone for like 3 weeks. Chicago, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Arizona. We went to Alabama, Augusta, Georgia, DC, New York.
Talk about how did you react to the different venues that you were at? Because here you are, nobody in the stands, you don't have many followers
Right.
that went with you, so you're basically playing with no fans there.
Yeah, but if you know Boo, you know that Boo has fans. Boo
Yeah.
has fans all over the world. Boo tells people that we're playing in Chicago, we go to Chicago, they're our fans.
Wow.
And even if we don't have fans, the friends that you make when you're in these tournaments from the other teams, the teams, they come watch your games and they cheer for you. You build lifelong friendships going out there traveling like that. That was the life. All you had to do was wake up, play basketball.
Wow.
Wake up, play basketball, and you're in a different state every other day, sightsee, play basketball. That was a life.
Wow. And you did this as a junior and a senior.
Yes.
Okay. Then at Hampton, senior, you take it all the way and win the state championship. What was that experience like?
It was amazing. It was something that I saw happening, but you want to experience that before you graduate from high school. Everybody wants the state championship.
Sure.
That's what you're playing for. And it was something that I feel we had the tools to do years before, but to do it that year, my senior year, going out, and I would always pick with the girls, we would say, you got to help me win state before I can go to Penn State. We would say that, we would say that all the time, and it was just amazing. The girls that I got to win and experience that with, they were an amazing group of girls. I feel like we learned so much from each other that year. We learned so much about ourselves, about our coaches, about what it took to have an extended season and finish.
Right.
You always
not
go
just extend it, but
and finish. Like that's
pinnacle.
the end of the road. Like
Yeah.
it's like winning a game, like a board game. You don't want to get kicked out.
Now that game was played at VCU.
Yes.
Came right down to the wire. And I know you, girl. I mean, you got to be aware of the time and the situation and the score.
Yes.
But yet you still have to focus on what you've got to do.
Exactly. it came down to that last shot. That's what it came down to. We played really hard. There was a little bit bad officiating, but it wasn't
Something
anything
you
to get
didn't
in the
overcome.
exactly. We were used to it,
Yeah.
Something about them red uniforms, those black uniforms. When red and black are intimidating colors. So when you step on the court with the red and black on, the refs are like, "Oh Lord."
Yeah, okay, we know these.
Yeah.
Okay, now the traveling you did with Boo, you got a lot of exposure. So then when you graduate, you're being recruited.
Yes.
That had to help you because of the exposure you had around the country.
Yes. When I started playing AAU with Boo Williams Black Widows, college coaches, they come to the tournaments, they watch, but we're only, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old.
Right.
When you get in high school, college coaches, it's a lot to come travel all the way to your school to see one kid when it's easier for them to go to the tournaments and see all the kids.
Yeah.
So, playing for Boo's travel team, I got letters and stuff from high school that one summer, and I promise you I probably played a total of 15 minutes the entire season. Played on the court because I was playing with some great players. Monica Wright was on the team. She's in the WNBA now. But just playing that one summer, just being a part of his team, I'm telling you, the mailbox was full every day from letters from schools that you would not believe. You're just like, where is this university? And
well, you end up going to Penn.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the recruiting process because it's different for girls than it is for guys.
Yes.
And because they want to protect the girls.
Right.
They don't want you to be overwhelmed.
Right.
And it's easy for anybody to get overwhelmed.
Right. The recruiting process, it starts with the letters, the questionnaires. You reply. If you don't reply, then, they'll know that you're not interested. Then the calls start coming in, and then your phone's ringing off the hook. And I didn't have a cell phone then, because when I was in high
Probably a
school,
good thing you didn't.
So, but they call. They're bugging your high school coaches. You go through the process. You just start picking the ones that you want to be interested in, and the ones that you don't, you put them to the side, give them a courteous call, let them know you're not interested. Once you got, your top 5, you start your visits. Go on your visits, your official, you can unofficial anywhere, but
Right.
your official visits is where you go, and they pretty much show you.
Wine you and dine you,
Yeah,
don't
yeah. It's not like that when you get there, but, they show you,
Oh, yeah. Well, once they got you,
this
it's
is
so
why you
different.
should come here, so,
Yeah. Well, you end up at Penn State.
Yes.
You was up there for 2 years. What sold you on Penn State? Was it the program, the coaches?
I fell in love with the coaching staff. I fell in love with the university itself. If you've ever been to a football game at Penn State, it's amazing. It's an experience
Any Big Ten
like no
school or
one.
big
Yeah,
school
I mean
like that, yeah.
But I went to a whiteout on my visit. The whole stadium was white, like. There were no seats. No one was sitting down. It was crazy. The visit was amazing, but also the coaches, they were so genuine. The coaches, Renee Portland was the one who I actually signed to. She came down to one of my games. We went out to dinner. She showed me that she was interested in me as a person more than just a player. And that kind of sold me on it. My family, they loved the coaching staff there, so I ended up going there, and she left before I got there, like 2 weeks before I stepped on campus.
Is that one of the reasons why you transferred to George Mason?
Yes and no. I tried to stick it out, and I couldn't.
Well, what you went there for?
It wasn't there anymore. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like. You wake up, you get an ice cream cone, and they give you the cone. There's no ice cream.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, wow.
For that to be the main reason for you to want to go to a university, and then that those coaches aren't there anymore.
Right. Now, so you ended up at George Mason.
Yes.
You played 2 years at George Mason.
Yes.
And they were in a rebuilding situation there.
Definitely.
But you must have been a great experience for you.
Yeah, it was a good experience. I ended up playing for a coach that was banging my door down during the recruiting process. Coach Jerry Porter, she coaches at Radford, and that's kind of family to us because my mom's an alumni and she's in the Hall of Fame there for basketball at Radford. So when she got the job over at George Mason and found out that I was transferring, she's the first one calling. it was more so like I was playing for my godmom than,
Oh, okay.
you know. So, I mean, I enjoyed myself there. I enjoyed myself at George Mason.
And what did you get your degree in?
Communication.
Communication.
Yes, advertising and public relations.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you don't have a job, really. I mean, you do have a job, but you're a full-time mom.
Yes, full-time.
Got a little daughter
mom.
that's Maryland.
Maryland. She's
And,
11 months.
11, almost
Yes,
a year.
almost a year. She's getting there.
She's gonna be a ball player.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, she's
Are you
off
gonna-
the chart for height of her size, of her,
Is that
of her
right?
age, yeah.
Are you going to take her through the ballet and the dancing and all this other stuff?
Yeah.
Because you could see what it did for you.
Yes. I would love to open up any avenue that, you know, she wants to explore. That's one thing that I always told myself. When I have kids, I want them to be able to pick what they want to do. I want to put everything in front of them, and I want them to pick it. I don't want to just say, here,
This is what you got to do.
Yes, yes.
Right. Let them make the decision.
Yes.
Very good. Now, you're over at Hampton High School now, and you went over there, and the recruiting process over there, basically, you went and applied for the JV job. Mm-hmm. But that's not where you ended up.
No. I applied for the JV job. Beth said, she said, why don't you just interview for both? We'll see how it goes. And then the athletic director,
Mike Trebus.
yes, he was there. They did the interview. I'm walking out. She's like, we loved you. We loved you. You know, we want you. You know, maybe 2 days later, I got a call. You know, we found someone for JV, but we really want you to be involved with the varsity program. With you having been a huge asset to the state championship team, that's the direction we're trying to take this program. And, you know, we feel like you have a lot to bring to the table with, you know, these girls. We want a woman's presence around. Can you come help out, Alan?
Wow.
And I said, yes.
Well, then Hampton's got a couple pretty good girls that
Yes.
are good size, work post. Is that who you basically work with?
I'm working with the entire team more so, but I really focus on those post players because having been in their shoes, you know,
Right.
no more than 7 years ago, I know what didn't work, you know?
Right.
I know what didn't work. So I want to show them how to do it the right way. You know
Well,
what
you
I
got
mean?
two girls that going to Division I schools, one
Yes.
going to Tampa, one going to Hampton U. You know, so already there's got to be pressure on because these girls are going, so they must. So do you feel like your team has a bullseye on its back? That the other teams are after you, or easier for them to get up to play Hampton girls?
I think we do have a bullseye on our back. I think people have been taking Hampton High School girls basketball lightly lately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It hasn't been where it could be.
Right.
And I think, you know, this year we're gonna surprise some people. We're definitely gonna surprise some people.
Well, I tell you, I appreciate you coming in, but we're going to kind of wrap this thing up because I want you to explain to me what you bring to the Hampton High program.
Myself, experience, just, you know, having been where they want to be, you know, I think I bring that to the table. I think I bring a compound of energy and just myself. I don't know how to explain it, just myself.
Right.
I want to give them my experience.
Do you bring some of Coach Six with you?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Because see, you played under the coach at Penn State and at Radford, your mom and Boo and all these
Yes.
other, and Coach Six. So you bring in a lot of experience from different coaches. And,
Yes.
and that's got to be one of the things that stands out as a star for you.
Yeah, I mean, playing for Six, and then playing for Boo, and then playing for Coach Reese Washington, and then playing for Jerry Porter, and even the assistant coaches in the at the college level. I think I learned a little bit from each and every one of them, and just, you know, to have their philosophies, have their coaching styles, and just, you know, pick and choose what I want to keep and use it for myself. I think I'll be a great coach. I think I'll be a great asset to this
Would
team.
you like to be a head coach sometime?
I would love to be a head coach. I would love to be a head coach at the high school level. I would love to get an AAU team. I would love to. The end goal, I want to be coaching at a university. I would love to coach at a university. I just want to be around the sport. I was one of those players that I think I knew the game a little bit better than I played it, you know? So,
Well,
I don't know.
appreciate you coming in. I want to thank you for tuning in to LSC and Sports Time. I want to thank my special guest, Evelyn Lewis. I'm your host, Bob Hentz. Until next time.
Hi, this is Kevin Swan, 1989 graduate of the greatest high school in the city of Hampton, Hampton High School, and you're watching LSC, all sports, all the time.